Praise thy holy name, Father. I'm going to come to you to speak what's on my heart. And I pray for all the people involved. And I would not have felt like putting this video out, but yes, I do go to Elizabeth's site all the time to see what she's doing from one minute to another, see what kind of lie she's telling from one time to another. I know. If she don't want me to do that, then she shouldn't be on YouTube, because YouTube is open to everybody to go on any site that they want to type in and find, even mine, and I don't mind. So I know that some of her group come and see what I'm saying, and then they run to her and go, Elizabeth, Elizabeth, mama, mama, you know. I forgive them, as I forgive Elizabeth, because I think she has many problems. But right now she's got up on her site Prophecy 54. And she makes it sound like it just happened in a way. But really, this prophecy was written back in April the 5th of 2002. And it has a lot to do with Chuck, her first site manager, getting on to him about not obeying something, about telling his boss to cancel that check or whatever was going on. I don't know. Don't care. But I do care about Chuck. And Chuck, if you happen to stumble across this video, this YouTube site, I truly want you to know I love you, man. And I know that everything that happened during that time, I really don't blame you at all. Because you were sort of like brainwashed by this woman. You come upon her site back in 1997 and you begin to get acquainted with her and talk to her all the way back then. And that's why I'm totally against men and women that are married getting together on YouTube. Now, yes, I have male friends on YouTube, but my husband knows exactly who they are. He's met them, or some of them. He okays them because they don't cut him out of the picture and say, I'm just going to talk to you, Barbara. No. They talk to my husband, and doggone it, they like him. He's a serious man, but he can be so funny too. And he's loyal and honest to a fault. But if you're sneaking around behind your wife's back or husband's back, talking to another opposite sex, you need to not let your mate know about it and put bring them in to be part of it, to help safeguard from things like this that happened to Chuck happening. We can see back in 1997, Elizabeth was still married to her husband, or her ex-husband. So this conversation was going on with Chuck. She had a different site manager at that time, but there was a conflict that came up between them, and anyway, he quit. And she was in desperate need of a site manager, in desperate need of everything, because around 2001 or 2000. I'm not for sure that date, but I do know there had come a time that she snuck out of a bedroom window with her son. Now, this is what she told me. And ran because of fear of her ex-husband, or husband then, and come here to Arkansas. Well, I didn't meet her in Arkansas, but anyway, that's where she encouraged Chuck to come on down to Arkansas. Now, in that video, and I'm going to give you some links to video down below that you will see and go to and see yourself what is being said. So I've got them downloaded, and any time that they try to take them off and don't want them up there, well then, and you get a hold of me, I'll just email you, and then you can know it again. But Brigitte Wilson, Chuck Wilson's wife, they've tried to make her out to be a whore, a manipulative wife that was abusive to her husband, that didn't take care of him, that bullied him, and all of this is lie. It really is a lie. And one of these days I'm going to have an interview with her and put it on video and put it on my site for everyone to see what Elizabeth done to this precious lady. They tried to pretend she's blonde-headed, and there is an actress that is called Brigitte Wilson, but that's not Chuck's wife. Chuck's wife come from the Philippines. She was in her 30s. She never had known a man. She was unmarried, a virgin, and the first and only man she ever knew was Chuck. And he went to the Philippines, met, they got married. And anyone knows about the Philippine culture knows that the women are raised to be very submissive to their husbands. Very submissive. And she cooked and took care of Chuck. She took care of him in every way that she knew how. But back in 1997, when Chuck and Elizabeth started talking on the internet, and she's needing a webmaster, she encouraged him. She encouraged him to come down. He didn't come down on his own. He didn't go down there, come down here to Arkansas half crazed and suicidal from California. He come for a purpose because he had become fascinated with a woman that he had met on the internet that was much younger and at that time very slim and very pretty. She's blonde-headed. And looks has a lot to do with drawing men away from their wives. A lot. And I have come totally to believe that Elizabeth has a Jezebel spirit. And really this does break my heart. It does, because I really, really loved Elizabeth. And I still love her and I pray for her, but it breaks my heart to have to come to realize how much she does lie. And when I stumbled across this video, and it's Prophecy 54, and it has all this about Chuck and getting on to him and stuff, like he's still there, you know. He's not. He's not there with him. He didn't go to Europe with him. He wanted to, but they were up in Alaska in a cabin, and it come time that when Chuck finally got his divorce, and he didn't get the money, his wife, or his ex-wife, was smart enough to tie it up where he couldn't get a hold of it, because it would have went to Elizabeth. Just like all the money in the bank accounts that he drawed and emptied and left none for his wife to live on, left her broke and destituted, he turned all the money over to Elizabeth. He took and gave his car to Elizabeth. I'm sorry, my heart's breaking to begin to realize that this woman has so much problems, because when they took off to go to Europe, and because Chuck couldn't get this money, up in the dead of wintertime, they dropped him off at a filling station that was closed, no shelter, in the dead of winter, and you know how Alaskan winters can be, and drove off and left him there to die. And there was two gentlemen that decided, we can't go along with this, because if he's out there and he dies, we can go to prison for conspiracy, you know, knowing ahead of time what she was going to do. So they went and got him and took him to a men's shelter and got him help. And when one asked Elizabeth, you know, he could have died, she said, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care that this man, I broke his marriage up. I don't care that this man, that I took all of his money and would have taken his retirement too if I could have got my hands on it. But because he couldn't, I had no longer need of you, so I'm going to cast you away like a piece of trash. And she did. Left him out there to die. And not caring. In a way, hoping. That is evil. That is evil. There is so much more I'm finding out as I'm searching and talking to other people that knows the facts that was going on. How many families has she already destroyed? Many, 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 many. And it's all about money. Why did you put Prophecy 54 back up? Up after all these years. Are you in need again, Elizabeth? Do you need more people to send you more money to live on? Are you that desperate again like you was in the United States before Chuck come along and started making your website, that you were begging for money, begging for a place to live, begging? And you had no qualms whenever Paul left his wife and children. And could you say he's a good father? No, he's not a good father. He left his children and wife with nothing, no money, no support, no nothing, and come to you, Elizabeth, here in Arkansas. And he was still married. And you were still married. You didn't get a divorce until later. I know. And you know, Nikki, Paul, I really liked you as a man and had respect for you. But to tell you the truth, I don't know more. You left your wife and children for a Jezebel, a lying Jezebel. You deserted them and walked away, just like Chuck did his wife, and walked away. And now Elizabeth dares to lie about her past and what she did, which was unholy, because back in 1997, you can really see it if you go back to her website, see how she was really beginning to talk about being not equally yoked together, because she was giving herself the right to leave her husband and children and kidnap the youngest son and take with her, hiding and running, because her husband had got custody of that boy, and here in Arkansas they did. There was a warrant for her right down in Hope, Arkansas, to come and get that boy and get her and arrest her for taking him. They even held a gun on Chuck's head because he wouldn't tell where they were hiding. I mean, the police did, not Elizabeth, because Elizabeth and them were out in the woods hiding like cowards, as the police held Chuck and questioned him and had him on his knees and had a gun in his head pointed right here in his temple, wanting to know where they were. But I'm going to put some links, and I want you to go look at it. The one that they talk about, Brigitte, which is totally 100% a lie. About Prophecy 54, and Chuck's not with them any longer. Because the last time I talked to him, he made me promise never to let Elizabeth know where he's at. If I know where he's at, I'm not to ever let her know, because he's terrified of her. He's afraid of her. Well, wouldn't you be if somebody in the dead of winter took and dropped you off at a filling station that was closed? No shelter. Nothing. and left you standing there as you drove off, would you believe that person ever again and want to have anything to do with them? That's exactly what happened with Chuck. He's totally afraid of her. And you know what has come to me, because I've taken a lot of college courses, and you want to talk about psychiatry and stuff. Elizabeth has a lot of problems. She needs psychiatric help, if that will even do any good. One, she's a sociopath. Anytime that you could take somebody in the dead of winter to a place that was isolated, closed down for the night, no shelter, and leave them out there to die and don't care, that's a sociopath. And then can come back and lie and say, oh, I love you, Chuck, come back. Yeah. I love you, Chuck. Please don't ever go back. Next time you may not be so lucky to get out alive. Now, I'm going to tell this to all of her group. If you want to believe her lies and put your life and your family's life in danger, go ahead. If you want to believe her lies and in the end may be judged and go to hell, be my guest. But I'm saying, Chuck, if you listen to this, my home is always open to you, and nobody will come here to harm you, period. Bar none. Whoever comes to my home is under my protection and my husband's protection. Of course, I know there's some legal stuff that's going on that she drugged you into and got you involved in, and maybe that has something to do with it. But you know what, Chuck? I'd even hire you a lawyer to fight this. Your choice. But I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to put out videos that you can go to and check on and see what I'm saying is true. And I'm going to put something on there that's right from her site, and you can click on it and investigate. But I'm telling you, I'm just letting you know that Carl and I love you, Chuck. Don't go back to Elizabeth ever. You have a home here. Brigitte loves you, and you know she took care of you. She did not hit you. She did not do any of the things that Elizabeth wrote in that letter and put on that YouTube site. Elizabeth, you are a liar. I know you're a liar. You know you're a liar. Unless you are so manifested with Satan, you don't even know any longer from lying or not. I know you're a sociopath. I know you're a manic depressant, because from one minute to the next you can spin on a dime. I believe that you could become a very dangerous person after I found out all the stuff that I found out. A very manipulative, very dangerous, and very evil person. And you know what? I do pray for you, because God would forgive you if you truly repented. But what you did to Chuck, and you wanted him to die, and you had hoped that he would die, God have mercy upon your soul. I wouldn't send you a red cent. I would not send you not one dime, because what I know, it would turn into be a curse against me and not a blessing. Because if you give, you need to give to people that are really truly of God and not Jezebels. God forgive you, Elizabeth. Please forgive you.